Excuse me, what do you do for a living?
You can't just ask a woman that. But in the spirit of transparency, I connect poachers to people who want to buy elephant tusks. Don't look at my butt.
What? Me staring at the "how was your day" text after being left undelivered for 18 hours. Yeah, bro. That's an easy ice time.
Ice time.
What is the best Tinder opener according to science? So we messaged a whole bunch of openers to a bunch of girls to find out which ones have the highest response rate, and the results are in. So third place we have, "Can I be honest?" And then you followed up with, "You're just my type" when she responds. This one works really well because it makes her curious. She's like, oh yeah, what does he need to be honest about? Like, is he gonna tell me something interesting? So it hits her on curiosity. Second place, so I guess we're dating now. Also slightly above 80% response rate. So this one works, I think, because it's short and sweet. It's kind of cheeky and the girl's like, haha, I guess we are. And first place had 86% response rate. Hey, insert her name. You know what's interesting about your pictures. So the same exact premise as the "Can I be honest" one, except this one is specific to her photos, and girls are gonna be very curious about, like, hey, you know, what's interesting about my photos? So yeah, the openers that seem to work really well are the openers that make the girl curious.
Yeah, sparking curiosity and intrigue. Of course, you can do like different variations of this, but one of my openers is interesting, ... Again, sparking that curiosity. It makes you stand out more among all the other, hey, hi, hey, what's up? Just all that other BS, and you're getting her to respond, which makes her more invested in you right off the bat.
If I find a girl that I want to make my wife, and I find her super attractive.
Make your wife. Okay.
Yeah, because that's what I would do. I would make her my wife. I would ask her to marry me and then make her my wife. You say you are you're 100% you look you heard me say that.
Oh,
you
I
heard
make her my wife, like.
Yeah, because that's what I would do.
It's like I'm an equal human, a woman.
Well,
It's not about you
say that
to make her your wife.
Obviously, she would want to be my wife.
She has her own life. She wants to be your wife too.
Yeah, of course, but she's not going to.
She wants to go to the club. She wants to do her makeup.
No, she's not going to want to go to clubs. She's not going to want to go to clubs. No,
she does.
Because here's the thing: that's a non-negotiable for me in marriage.
Okay, well then,
if I find a woman, if there's plenty of women out there that don't want to go to clubs all the time.
Okay, well.
There's plenty of women out there that don't want to go to clubs in tiny little dresses and get hit on by guys all the time.
Just bitter, bro. I don't think she has to worry about getting wifed up anyway.
Is one of the biggest scams. They're indoctrinating young girls. I was even indoctrinated to think that your career is going to bring you happiness. Then you hit 40s, 50s, not married, no children, and it's heartbreaking. You're not happy. And I'm so happy and so grateful that I figured this out in my early 20s. You have some women in their 30s, 40s listening to Cardi B, dedicating their lives to their career, and they're going to be miserable. They're creating a certain lifestyle for themselves, and no man is ever going to want them. Then we start hating on men because men prefer younger women. Well, that's not really men's fault, is it? It's society's fault. Society should have told girls when they were much younger that at that age, they're going to be most desirable. But no, they were busy building their careers and building all these different things, which unfortunately they wake up one day and realize just isn't satisfying enough. So I think it's very sad.
Shout out to Leia. More facts.
I really thought being married to an older man would be nice and like all mature and everything. My husband is 38 years old and I just got back from the grocery store where I had to buy him Dino nuggets. And that's what he had for lunch.
Leave this man alone. So what, he likes Dino nuggets.
When you get indoctrinated into the military, that's exactly what's happening. And guess what? You get taught, one of the first things that you get taught is how to stand properly. And you know what they tell you? Chin up, chest out, shoulders back. They make you stand like that. There's no coincidence to that, is there?
Not at all. You could say it's a dominant stance, but that's not the right way of thinking about it. Although it is a dominant stance, the reason to adopt it is not because it's a dominant stance. It's a competent stance. And competence tends to make you dominant, at least in hierarchies that are functioning properly. These guys that come in, they're all slumped over. They don't know how to stand up. They're looking at their feet. Their necks are bent. Like, even if they're good-looking men, they don't look good because they're all crunched over. You see people like this on the street all the time. They could be perfectly attractive, except they're completely huddled in. You know, they need to stand up and stretch themselves out. And then they can breathe, too. And that's a competent stance.
Your physical presence is very important. Exactly like Peterson is saying. Chest up, chin up, look around. Are you alert or are you weak, slumped over, kind of disheveled, walking like a lazy man? Chest up, chin out, walk with purpose. Have a stride. Examples of walking. Yes, no, bad.
He's a 10, but he hasn't got a job.
He's a 10 still.
Okay, why?
Yeah, I mean, people aren't their jobs, you know. I've been unemployed for long stretches and I've always been a 10, so it's fine.
Oh, I love that.
Nah, I disagree. Men have a burden of performance. If you're not working hard on something, you're not pursuing something, you're not holding yourself to a masculine standard. If the guy is unemployed, but he's working on a business or working towards something bigger, that's different. Say you're in a relationship and you end up losing your job, that's when the timer starts for your chick to leave you. It's a security risk if you're not able to provide. Harsh reality, bro.
The first point that I always tell you when it comes to getting girls is to stop watching. And even the softcore stuff that you see on TikTok and Instagram's literally just softcore. TikTok's mostly softcore. You can cope all you want and say like, oh no, my TikTok's full of Andrew shorts, and yeah, it probably is. And you know, oh, my Instagram's full of just UFC and, you know, football stuff. And yeah, it probably is, but you're still probably seeing more on your Instagram than your entire bloodline has seen before you. So it's still gonna mess you up, isn't it?
This was the most common question I got asked on my Instagram, @CookingMine. I used to be able to respond to every single DM, but nowadays there's truly just too many of them for me to be able to respond to. So give me a follow if you want to show support. But the question I got asked the most is, how do I stop watching spicy content? So you have to understand that this is a cycle that can be triggered. It gets triggered on a multitude of different things. But TikTok, Instagram, and even Twitch, these are all triggers. All of those platforms are basically just softcore, and it triggers that spicy content response in your head. So if you're on any of those platforms, unfollow every single chick, all of them. Anything that has that potential to trigger that. Next, you need to change the habit. I'm positive you have a ritual of when you do it. A time, a place, a setup. And whenever that is, get out of the house. Do anything else. I always recommend the gym because you want to replace an unhealthy habit with a healthy one. But honestly, basically anything is better than watching spicy content. You have to cut off the trigger point from the root of the problem. Whatever that initial instinct is, cut it right there. It's a cycle and a habit that your brain has gotten used to. You have to remove yourself from the cycle.
Nobody wants to date me. I want to date you. I find you really attractive, and I think that we should go out. Go away.
Bruh, it's funny because it's true.
Does a person's body count matter in dating?
I personally don't want somebody that anybody can have, because if I'm gonna hold myself accountable and not let anyone have access to me, what's fair in having someone that anyone can have access to?
So, do you think it matters or it doesn't matter?
Yeah, it can.
Do you think it matters more for men or for women?
It matters to men more, for sure, what the girl's body type.
Why do you think so?
Something about a master key and all the locks, I don't know.
I think the expression goes, a key that can open up any lock is a master key, but a lock that can be opened up by 50 keys is a lock.
Surprisingly realistic. Not bad.
Tell me your biggest secret.
I'm cheating on my boyfriend with like 5 other guys.
I'm confused how he doesn't know.
Because I have a separate account.
Well, why not just break up with your boyfriend?
Because I love him.
Oh. She a streetwalker, dude. I've been recording for 10 hours. I've witnessed the most haram things known to man. This is day 10. My brain power is being tested more than ever. Sounds like a Mr. Beast challenge. I survived 24 hours watching the most haram clips.
The next year after we met, we got married. Our honeymoon, we were in Italy for a month, and we had like an Italian party. He was not involved. He watched. It was like 5 to 6 Italian dudes, and it was really, really fun.
Haram! We need the will of God. We need Allah.
Nah, bro. That's the end of the video.